Okay, so leave the stitches all okay, it's all on. So I'm gonna stitch here at 1/4 of an inch. Reverse. And you need to make sure that you want to have a nice round corner. So go slowly. Don't be surprised that it might not help you turn completely. So to help you do that, you can have the needle down and you lift the foot a little so that wrinkle comes off, right? But you don't want it to be pointy, so you might need to do it a few times. It takes a little practice, like everything. Thank you.
No problem. Sorry. You reversed, right?
Yes, beginning and end.
Right sides together.
Huh?
Are those right sides together?
Yes. Yes, they are. So there is a technique in tailoring that is called layering. Okay, if you see you have your two seam allowances at the exact same level. So when you press it, it's going to create a ridge because it's too thick. So what layering means is that you cut one of the seam allowances, not both of them, in half. So it's kind of like you're creating like a little stair, so it would softly will blend in and not create that really heavy ridge.
So you cut the seam allowance.
Huh?
You cut the seam allowance on one side?
I cut half of the seam allowance. See that? That's what's called layering. So, for example, if you guys don't behave, I will make you make your own shoulder pads. You will have to cut 7 layers of batting. Right, in one of them, and you're going to be layering them all. Exactly. And then you stitch them by hand because you need to stitch it while you are shaping the curve of your shoulder, because otherwise it looks like a flying pan, right? So you actually are curling them and then you sew them so it maintains that shape, even though when you don't have it on.
From now on, we going.
So you need to behave, if not, I'm going to make you do that. And now you can sue me because you have a video on that thread. No, I'm not. No, I'm going to tell you where to get them. I'm going to find you samples so you can see it. Unless you want to do it, I'll be more than happy to show you. So, usually I would cut those little triangles on the curve. Okay? But since I left a 1/4 of an inch or maybe less seam allowance, I probably would not. Okay? And I want to go press. I don't know if you guys can see, anybody can zoom in. I want to make sure that I have the seams on the edge and I don't have one side more than the other. Okay? Since I cut both of them together, they are the same size, right? There shouldn't be the seam showing on any side. And I'm gonna go press this. So here what I would do, a little trick to make sure that you get it right, a good side, would be to press the seams to one side, the seam allowances, and then you can fold it exactly on the edge. See how you have a really good edge, right? So that this is polyester, so it always will bubble that. But I don't want you guys to actually press it and have a pleat on the inside. Okay, this is a no-no. Okay. Do not want to use a pencil. Why wouldn't I use a pencil on fabric? Anybody can tell me?
Is the permanent part?
If you press it, it's going to fade and it's going to bleed into it, and you're going to get it after you do something dirty. So this is a way that I can mark my markings from the other side. The other thing that I could do is I can actually pinch exactly where I want the corners to be, right? Just giving you a little tricks on what you can do. So the flap goes on the top, correct? And we have a quarter of an inch seam allowance. So this flap is going to be placed at a quarter of an inch from the top. Everybody okay? So let me pin this here. Let me pin this here. Let me ignore this one here. And I know that you guys want to cut corners and make everything faster. I don't recommend that. And you're gonna see that if you ever have taken anything apart, it has like 3 stitching lines on the same thing, right? Instead of trying to hold 5 layers at the same time that they line up, you just stitch which one of them at the first time and it looks perfect at the first time. Does that make sense? So I'm gonna sew just the flap right now. And then after that, I'm gonna put the pocket and I'm gonna stitch it again, okay? Instead of trying to do it all at once. So this is a quarter of an inch and I wanna stitch exactly on the flap, okay? I don't want to stitch before because it will be flipping up. I don't want it to stitch it more than that because it would be a pinch that I don't wanna see. And yes, Liana, we are going to reverse. I knew that question was coming next. Okay. And I'm using the width of the foot as my guideline for the quarter of an inch. Cool? Now, if you do a tiny bit less, that's fine, because we're gonna now stitch the pocket on top of it, right? So I can stitch it a tiny bit outside of that. So I'm gonna get right sides together, right? This is the shiny side. See the shiny side? Okay. I have 1/2 inch seam allowance on each side. And I'm going to stitch again on the edge where the pocket was, not where, where the flap was, not where the pocket is. Okay? I like the foot to be on this side. I like to use the guideline on this side. I feel more comfortable with it. Okay, so here I need to fill where the flap is. There, is it? There, okay. And yes, Liana, I'm going to reverse.
And you did 1/2 inch around that whole thing?
I did 1/2 inch all the way around, yes. So I had a little mouse eat up a corner, but that's okay. So I'm gonna do 3 stitches and then I'm going to reverse. And now I'm gonna stitch to the end.
Is that a quarter?
Yes.
Oh, it's a quarter?
Yes.
No,
That's why no. It measures, the whole welt measures 1/2, but each lip of it is going to be a quarter. Because we're gonna cut it the same way that we did before. The line in the middle and the little triangles at the ends. It's the same concept, but this one has a flap in the middle. So we go here, we reverse. And now I'm going to do the other side of the pocket. So I don't want the corners. I know that some of you guys encounter when you did the single well pocket that the inside cutting was kind of sticking out a hole, right? So I'm gonna stitch maybe a 16th in than the edge. So the next line, again, right sides together. I'm gonna place it right here. Oh, that's the wrong
I was
side.
gonna say that looks shady.
Right sides together.
So they're kissing each other.
They're kissing each other. And Dean had to pay for it. Well, what is it a date? You have to pay for dinner? I'm being a little raunchy, but it's true. Anyway, so I'm gonna go a little bit in and I'm gonna stitch the other 1/2 inch. And yes, Liana, we are reversing. See that all is one sentence. And I'm gonna make it a tiny bit less, maybe 1 stitch less. So here comes the magic. The magic is that it got stuck. Okay. See that I have the 2 stitching lines in there? All right. Look at how much far away I did from the flap, but that's okay. So I'm going to start about 1/2 inch from where the end of the stitching line is, and I'm going to cut on the middle of it up to 1/2 inch from it. Did we kick Chris out? Oh, he was fixing it. Okay. I didn't want to hurt his feelings. So make sure that when you cut only on the jacket and not on the pocket. This little triangle here on the corner, and you go all the way to the edge where we reverse Liana.
Oh, so you're cutting over that stitch line? That one?
Yeah. I mean, it should have been closer, but I don't know, for some reason I stitched it too far away. Okay, and now we do the same magic that we have done before. Except that the flap and the pocket will be facing down. See that? Pretty? Okay, so now we're gonna come in here and this is gonna go down. I should have gone and pressed it. I'm gonna pull that triangle out here. See that? I make sure that all my fabrics are pulled like it need to be. And I dropped my pen.
Do you need more pens?
So I'm going to lift it up like this. I'm going to arrange all the fabrics. I'm going to pull that little triangle and I'm going to stitch on the corner. I'm gonna reverse Liana. And then I'm gonna go all the way around. And this one is at 1/2 inch. And then here on this side again, I need to make sure that the flap seam allowance is facing up. Okay, she wanted the pocket to look like this. I'm gonna move this up. I'm gonna put the triangle out of the way. Let me clean this up so you guys can see it for the filmmakers of the class. And then again, I'm gonna reverse it. So here on the bottom, the seam allowance will be pressed in. Here on the top, the seam allowance will be pressed up and the flap will fall on it. See that? I stitched too much in there. I have a little corner. Okay, so when I press it, I have le pocket. Pretty?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'll press it, I'll show you later. I have to take that couple stitches out.